What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I know it's been a while since you guys last saw me upload, simply because I hurt my shoulder a couple months ago and the doctor said take it easy, don't stress it, otherwise it's going to get worse. So I just kind of been, chilling, just relaxing. But I think it's time we get back on the ball game. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video, taking it light. A friend of mine asked me if I could weld this rear diff on this 1990 Infiniti M30. I told him I've never welded a diff before, but there's always a first time for everything, right? So after looking at a couple of videos, it doesn't look too bad. And I told him, I think I can do it. And as you guys know, I am a welder, not a professional welder. But yeah, with that being said, let me show you the homie's car. All right, so here's the car, 1990 Infiniti M30. If I had to compare it to another car, it would have to be like a Nissan. It almost has the same similarities, right? And it does have a Nissan motor in there. It's a 3.0 V6. Give you guys a look at that. So, like I said, if I had to compare it to a car, it would be something like that. Nissan owners, don't get mad at me, but there it is. Some 18-inch wheels, STRs. Don't know the offset or how wide, but has a nice stance to it. The homie was wrapping it, hasn't finished the job yet, but yeah, little by little. Got the loud as exhaust back here. But yeah, that's what it looks like. So we're gonna be welding diff. This is some of the stuff you're gonna need other than the welder. So we got brake cleaner, the greaser, diff fluid. Obviously you need a torch to heat up the gears before you weld them, shop towels, and the gasket for the rear diff cover. So that's what we're gonna be using in this little project. So let me take off the wheels and get started. Alright, so there's the diff, guys. You can see the axle's pretty torn. I'm gonna have to tell him about that, see if he wants to replace it. But the diff doesn't look too bad to take off. Hopefully none of these bolts fight me, but first step, we're going to drain the fluid off the diff. That way we don't make a mess. Secondly, we're going to take off the axles next to the spindle right here. And then we're going to slide them out. And then we're going to disconnect the drive line. Make sure your wheels are locked in the front. Put a piece of wood or something in there. Wheel chock, something. You don't want this car going forward. Or any car, really. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get started on this. Hopefully we get it off pretty soon and get started. Alright guys, so to take off the diff, it's pretty simple, honestly. We had to take off 4 bolts holding on the drive shaft, which were 12 millimeters. Then we had 4 bolts holding on from this cross member to the diff, which were 17s, end wrench on top, socket on the bottom. Obviously we already drained the fluid. Then we got these 2 bolts right here, one on each side. These are 19s. This is the last piece holding on the diff right now. The axles are just kind of chilling. That was ripped, remember? But the axles, we had 6 bolts. Those were 14s. And other than that, we also had a sensor somewhere right there. You can kind of see the plug out of the way. Make sure you don't break that, but just make sure you look over it. Make sure nothing else is attached to it, and it's ready to come down. All right, so we opened up the diff, and you can see it's somewhat clean. Not the cleanest. I'm still going over it. And all I'm using is some engine degreaser there from O'Reilly. Spraying it down, letting it, work in there. Hosing it down. Did it twice. We're going to do it a 3rd time. And after this, I'm probably going to hit it with some brake cleaner and try to get most of that oil out of there, because you do want to have a clean surface when you go to weld. Alright, so as you can see, this thing's pretty much dried out. We hit it with the greaser. Then we hit it with brake cleaner. And we let it dry out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to light this thing on fire. The reason we're going to light it on fire is because after using brake cleaner, you do want to burn off any chemicals that might be in there. You don't want to breathe those in when you're welding. After that, we're going to take the propane and we're going to heat up those gears inside the spider. come in close. We're gonna heat up those gears inside there because these are hardened gears, so you do have to heat them up pretty good. That way when you go to weld them, it just welds a little better. But yeah, let me light this thing on fire and go from there. All right, so here's the diff already welded. Didn't show much of the welding because, I mean, I don't want to bore you guys with all that welding chingadera. But it was really hard to weld this diff because one thing, if you guys don't know, you do got to heat up these gears really, really hot. That way it just welds a lot better. That's what I was struggling with. I never done this before, so that's one thing I learned. Also, it was really hard to get right behind this gear where we had to weld, because as you can see, we don't have that much room. It's like, they look like booger welds, man. I guess it is what it is, though. They look like shit, but I mean, they're gonna hold. I know they are. Like I said, I had this thing cranked up pretty hot, so. But yeah, there it is. Hopefully after this video, I can insert some clips of the homie getting sideways, because he likes to get sideways on every corner. So hopefully we can insert some clips here. Let me put this thing back together, new fluid, cover, and slap it back on the car.